The story starts with a tentacled creature of unknown origin destroying over 70% of the moon, and he announces that he will destroy the world in 1 year. Nonetheless, Ministry of Defense government worker Tadaomi Karasuma allows the creature to be the teacher of Kunigaka Junior High School's Class 3E. The students are given weapons specially designed to hurt the creature and are offered a reward of 10 billion yen to whoever can assassinate him before graduation. However, none of the students are able to assassinate him due to his super Mach 20 speed. However, class bully Ryoma Terasaka convinces Nagisa Shiota to wear a grenade filled with pellets. When the creature gets sleepy after assigning the students to ride a pone, Terasaka detonates the grenade once Nagisa comes within close range of the creature, but the creature sheds his skin to protect himself and Nagisa from the blast. The creature then threatens the other students to refrain from coming up with plans that will harm others. As such, Kei Kayano names the creature Koro-sensei, seeing him as an unkillable teacher. While Koro-sensei is reading a newspaper the day before school starts, Nagisa encourages Tomohiro Sujino to attempt to assassinate Koro-sensei by pitching a baseball embedded with pellets. However, though Koro-sensei notes its creativeness and stealth, it gives him enough time to go to the sports shed and catch it with a baseball glove. He also warns them that graduation will be here before they know it and tells them to go to class. Later, after lunchtime, Sujino is downhearted when Koro-sensei crushes his dream of being a pro baseball star, but this is due to his wrists and elbows not being as flexible as they should be. Koro-sensei then encourages Sujino to focus on his own strengths for future attempts in assassination. Sometime later, Koro-sensei is having lunch by himself in the forest, shaving some ice presumably from the North Pole. Out of nowhere, students come out and happily offer to eat with him. Koro-sensei is immediately touched, but then realizes that they are trying to hit him with anti-sensei knives to no avail. Afterwards, the students of Class 3E fail to kill Koro-sensei even when he deliberately ties himself to a tree branch. Eventually, Karasuma joins Class 3E as the physical education teacher, observing how the class is ridiculed by the other students of the school. Meanwhile, at the Ministry of Defense, a boy is warned that he will be subjected to a mind wipe if he divulges any of the classified information. He will also have to join Class 3E, but he doesn't mind at all. The student is revealed to be Karma Akabane, who transfers into the class following a suspension, where he manages to inflict some damage to Koro-sensei by giving a handshake with Meg shards cleverly taped to his hand. Regardless, while the students later take a quiz, Karma steals Koro-sensei's special gelato to get his attention, shooting him with an unloaded gun to catch him off guard. After hearing word from Nagisa that Koro-sensei worships the octopus, Karma leaves a dead octopus on Koro-sensei's desk. However, Koro-sensei cooks it into takoyaki to ridicule Karma. Throughout the day, Koro-sensei manages to anticipate every prank Karma tries to pull. As such, as a last resort, Karma jumps off a cliff with a gun in hand, which would determine if Koro-sensei would risk his life for a student or would he instead destroy his pride as a teacher. However, Koro-sensei manages to save Karma using his tentacles as a giant spiderweb, leading Karma to accept Koro-sensei as a teacher. In disguise, Koro-sensei finishes his shopping at a market store when he sees a group of men harassing an attractive female foreigner. He easily disposes the men, and the female thanks him and asks for directions to Kunigaka Junior High. The students of Class 3E are then introduced to their new foreign language teacher, Irina Jelovic, who is actually a professional Serbian assassin with no interest in teaching the students. Her attitude, however, puts off the class, Karma even going so far as to call her Ms. Jella B-word. Regardless, after being kissed by her, Nagisa shares all of his notes about Koro-sensei's weak points to Irina. When Koro-sensei returns, Irina ropes him into the storage shed so that her team of assassins can destroy him. However, this fails as a result of using the wrong ammo on purpose and due to ignoring his keen sense of smell. Back in class, a humiliated Irina plans to get revenge, but the class wants her to finally start teaching. Irina responds by insulting them, saying that they care more for these exams than destroying a being who's about to destroy the entire planet. Later, after the students of Class 3E rebel against Irina, Karasuma shows her how dedicated Koro-sensei is to teaching each of his students and how important education is for assassination. Realizing the error of her ways, Irina begins to earnestly teach her students, helping them learn the art of communication. In the end, the class laughs, seeing how she completely turned around, having earlier vowed to end them all. One day, Minami Lakuta attempts to poison Koro-sensei, but to no effect. She has poor communication skills, but she has a passion for chemistry. Because of this, Koro-sensei offers to help Minami make an effective poison. However, it turns out to be a tonic that transforms him into a speedier liquid form, teaching Minami to improve her communication skills so she can successfully deceive him someday. Later, the students of Class 3E are forced to travel from their old campus and head to the main campus to endure a school assembly. The students from other classes have become envious due to the students of Class 3E having both Karasuma and Arina as cool teachers. Meanwhile, Koro-sensei shows his support by disguising himself as a scholar, providing extra copies of handouts previously not given to the class. Afterwards, Nagisa manages to use his experiences in the class to handle himself against Nobuta Tanaka and Chosu Takada, two bullies from the main campus. Later, school principal Gakugo Asano pays a visit to Class 3E to greet Koro-sensei. After having noticed how Nagisa stood up to Nobuta and Chosuke, Gakuho tells Koro-sensei to adhere to his educational system, which requires Class 3E to be at its poorest form to encourage the other students of other classes. However, noticing the students of Class 3E only caring about the bounty reward rather than getting high grades, Koro-sensei issues the ultimatum of leaving and destroying the school should any of the students fail to score well enough in the midterm exams to rank amongst the top 50 students. As such, during the midterm exams, the students of Class 3E use what they learned from Koro-sensei's teaching methods to tackle each question they come across. However, they are stopped in their tracks by questions that Gakuho had added at the last minute, without informing Class 3E of the changes, resulting in none of the students other than Karma ranking among the top 50 students. Downhearted from underestimating Gakuho, Koro-sensei receives some encouragement from his class and becomes determined to turn things around for the final exams. The students of Class 3E prepare for a field trip to Kyoto, which is also being used as a venue to assassinate Koro-sensei. Meanwhile, the students are arranged into groups in which Nagisa, Kid, Karma, Sujino, Minami, and class idol Yukiko Kanzaki agreed to be in a group. On the train ride to Kyoto, high school male delinquents steal Yukiko's itinerary, noting the group activities. On the next day, the group visits all the assassination landmarks, but they are ambushed by the male delinquents again, who kidnap Kid and Yukiko. Whilst in captivity, Yukiko laments to Kid about her rebellious acts due to being raised in a strict family. However, Nagisa, Karma, Sujino, and Manami manage to use an extensive guidebook written by Koro-sensei, which provides a thorough procedure for hostage situations to deduce where Kid and Yukiko are being held. Koro-sensei arrives as well to deal with the delinquents, while Nagisa and the others knock out the delinquents with their guidebooks. Following the incident, Yukiko is encouraged by Koro-sensei's words of wisdom, in which those with the will to drive forward will come out strong regardless of situation or status. Nevertheless, while the other groups are accompanying Koro-sensei on a tour of Kyoto, a sniper known as Red Eye is tasked with assassinating him at various spots. However, each of his attempts to shoot him are thwarted by improbable means, and his mission is called off when Nagisa's group gets into trouble with the high school male delinquents once again. Later that evening, Red Eye is approached by Koro-sensei himself, who treats Red Eye to a meal, thanking him for making the field trip a valuable learning experience for his students due to his assassination efforts. Red Eye, understanding Koro-sensei's morals as a teacher, decides to quit his job in order to explore the world. Back at their hotel, private time among the boys and girls eventually turns into a hunt for Koro-sensei when he eavesdrops on their gossips. As such, Koro-sensei hides from the students, telling Karasuma that the students wanted him to talk about his past love life. As the field trip comes to a close, the world government prepares two special assassins to transfer into Class 3E.